Hey everybody, it's Manny from Trouble Forge. So I've talked a lot about the produce auction in the last 2 months. Today we checked out a different produce auction. It's actually in the top 3 largest in the country and only 40 minutes from us, which is kind of crazy to me. I guess Friday is a little bit of a smaller day for them, but I'm kind of glad we went today so we could just kind of get a feel for how they operate and how things go. So it was a fun day. I got 10 boxes of cherries, 5 white and 5 black. I think they were white and black. So I'll do a video about how I'm going to make cherry juice here soon, but not doing that with today's project. So Matt and I are planning on making soap today, making tallow balm and tallow lip balm. So I just want to do a quick project to take care of the cantaloupes I brought home, and I'll be doing a longer project on a different day because cherries are going to be dragging out the steam juicer and the whole thing. The cantaloupes are going to be quick. So we also came home with 2 dozen ears of corn, but I think we'll probably just have those for dinner tonight and tomorrow. So these cantaloupes. So we brought home 10 cantaloupes. Missy and Jeremy at Homesteading Roots have a little farm store at their house now. And so Missy got a huge box or skid or whatever of cantaloupes. I bought 10 cantaloupes off of her. There's not really any awesome way to preserve cantaloupe except to freeze it or freeze dry it. My freeze dryer is still acting up. I put in the new software yesterday, but the numbers being weird, and so I reached out to Harvest Right again, and so whatever. Freeze drying it right now is not an option, but I want to get some in the freezer so that we can use it for smoothies. I was originally thinking about cutting it up, pureeing it, putting it in bags, and then putting it in the freezer, but I think I'm just going to chunk it and put it in the freezer, and then all we have to do is dump it in the Vitamix with some strawberries, blueberries, cherries, protein powder, yogurt, milk, whatever it is that we want to make smoothies with that day. And it'll just be something different that I don't have any frozen cantaloupe in the freezer right now. And so I got these for $2 each. I thought that was a pretty decent deal. So, and that's a good bit of fruit for $2. So I'm gonna get all these skinned, chunk them up, put them in Ziplocs, we'll drop them in the freezer. We are planning on doing freezer clean out day on Saturday. So we will actually figure out what the heck is in there. So this is not a hard process, but I'll just kind of show you how we get things prepped for the freezer. Freezing is obviously the easiest way to preserve something, and it's a great way to not break your streak when you're doing the Every Bit Counts challenge if you only have a little bit of time one day. All right, so as always, we have our chicken scrap bowl ready to go. We got our big bowl here to put our chunks in. I am not gonna de-seed these. They're gonna be going through the Vitamix. They're gonna be going through the Vitamix when we make them into smoothies anyway, so it will pulverize them. I'm not worried about the seeds. All right, so I decided to keep 3 because we ate 1 with lunch, and so I'm thinking if we have 1 with dinner or something and have 1 or 2 this weekend, that'll be perfect. These are delicious, so I would love to enjoy a couple of them while they're fresh and in season. So we have our huge bowl here of cantaloupe, roughly chopped. They're not all the same size. If you know me, I never cut anything the same size. And then we have a huge bowl of scraps for the chickens. They're gonna be super excited. Like I mentioned, all of the inside goo and seeds and all of that are in the bowl. When they go in the Vitamix, we're not even gonna notice, and I'm so not worried about it. So we're gonna get these bagged up and get them thrown in the freezer. All right, so we got 4-gallon Ziplocs of cantaloupe to put in the freezer. That is from 6 cantaloupes. So if you figure I spent $2 on each, I spent about $3 on a gallon Ziploc of cantaloupe, which I think is pretty decent because if I recall walking into Giant or something, you get those silly little containers and pay $10 for some chopped cantaloupe. So I think we're doing pretty good on this. I'm figuring that 1 gallon bag, if I pull that, so we're a family of 6, if I pull out that 1 gallon bag at, $3, I throw in some of our homemade yogurt, some of the blueberries that I froze, or some of the strawberries that are canned on the shelf or whatever, and we make 6 smoothies out of that. I mean, we're doing pretty good. We're talking $1 a smoothie for a good high quality protein smoothie. So that's gonna be our main purpose for these. This was fun. I was not planning on doing cantaloupe, but Missy offered me some and I was happy to take some offer hands, especially at $2 a pop. It's something I don't have, and as I've mentioned before, I'm trying to do things this year that I don't already have, unless they were low. Like I did peaches because they were low on the shelf. I only had like 30 and I'm shooting for like 100. So I won't have a ton of repeat food preservation projects this year because I'm really trying to diversify our food storage. I haven't frozen a ton either because, like I said, we need to clean out our freezers. So we're gonna hopefully get to that project this weekend. I might take you along on that little journey because it's gonna be a treat. Anyway, I'm excited to get these in the freezer. The chickens are going to go crazy about these scraps. If you have any questions about this, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's chopping and freezing. But freezing is, you know, a lot of times people hear food preservation and they think, well, I don't know how to can, or I don't have a freeze dryer, or I don't have a dehydrator, I don't have counter space for a dehydrator, like whatever. But almost everybody has, at minimum, the freezer attached to their fridge or above their fridge or whatever your situation is, or have like one chest freezer. And so you can pretty much do, there's a lot of food preservation you can do with the freezer. I'll link the Freeze Fresh book down below. That's a really great book to check out if you're looking for kind of like recipes for freezing, or like you want to know how to do collard greens or kale or something and it not get mushy and gross in the freezer. That's a great book for tips on freezing if that's going to be your primary way to preserve food. So as always, if you have any questions, let me know. We'll see you next time.